Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special presentation of the Eisenhower Dollar series. Today, we're going to explore the most valuable years of this iconic coin, each with its own story, history, and hidden treasures. From its first striking in 1971 to the final issue in 1978, the Eisenhower Dollar has captured the hearts of collectors and investors alike. Let's begin this journey through time and discover why these coins are so valuable and how much they can be worth. Now, for the very first in the list year, 1971. Ladies and gentlemen, let us step back to the year 1971, a pivotal moment in American numismatic history. This was the year the Eisenhower Dollar was born, a coin struck not only to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, but also to commemorate the achievements of the Apollo 11 moon landing. The United States Mint wanted to create a coin that symbolized leadership, strength, and the space age, and so the Eisenhower Dollar was introduced. The 1971 Eisenhower Dollar hold a unique place because it was the very first year of issue. Collectors immediately took notice of this coin, especially since it was the first circulating dollar minted by the U.S. since the peace dollar in 1935. After decades of absence, the return of a large dollar coin was monumental. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Eisenhower dollars in 1971, but what sets apart the most valuable versions are the errors, the rare proof strikes, and the special silver-clad issues. The 1971 silver proof, for instance, stands out as one of the most desired coins. These proof coins, carefully struck with mirrored fields, bring a level of artistry that collectors deeply admire. Another fascinating aspect of the 1971 Eisenhower Dollar is the rarity of certain minting errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, and coins with planchet issues can elevate the value of this coin into the thousands of dollars. Each error tells a story of imperfection that became perfection in the eyes of numismatics. So why is the 1971 Eisenhower Dollar considered so valuable? It is because this coin marks the rebirth of the American dollar. It symbolizes history, and it carries the prestige of being the first in the series. Collectors are willing to pay high premiums for pristine specimens. In fact, the finest examples of the 1971 Eisenhower Dollar, especially in deep cameo proof condition, have sold for more than $10,000 at auction. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that not only marks the return of America's large dollar, but also connects you directly to President Eisenhower and the triumphs of the space race. That is the power of the 1971 Eisenhower Dollar. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes open for the 1971 Eisenhower Dollar. If you find one in exceptional condition or stumble across a rare proof or error variety, you could be holding a true treasure. This is not just another dollar coin. This is history, value, and opportunity all in one. Now we are heading towards the year 1972. Ladies and gentlemen, let us turn our attention to one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the Eisenhower Dollar series, the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar. This coin is not only a work of art, but also a masterpiece of history, carrying with it both symbolism and exceptional value. The year 1972 was significant for the Eisenhower Dollar, as it marked the second full year of production. But the San Francisco Mint took things to an entirely different level with the 1972 issues. Unlike the regular copper-nickel coins struck for circulation, the 1972 was made in 40% silver, available in both uncirculated and proof versions. These silver-clad coins immediately stood out, treasured by collectors from the moment they were released. The design remained iconic. Dwight D. Eisenhower's bold portrait on the obverse, and on the reverse, a symbolic image of the Apollo 11 mission insignia, the eagle landing on the moon. This design united the themes of leadership, victory, and American greatness. And when struck in silver at San Francisco, it carried a brilliance unmatched by its copper-nickel counterparts. So what makes the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar so valuable? The key lies in rarity and condition. Collectors seek coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, with proof versions graded PR 69 or PR 70 commanding the highest prices. The sharp strike, mirror-like fields, and frosted devices elevate the 1972 proof to a piece of art. Auction records tell the story. While standard 1972 Eisenhower dollars can sell for hundreds, the finest known examples have sold for as much as $10,000. That's the incredible potential locked inside this silver coin. Add to that the appeal of it being a low-mintage silver issue, and the desirability becomes undeniable. Unlike many modern coins, the 1972 Eisenhower was never released into circulation. It was specifically intended for collectors and investors, making every surviving piece a testament to preservation. Owning one is like owning a piece of intentional artistry straight from a mint. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine opening a coin set and finding a flawless 1972 Eisenhower proof, gleaming with mirror-like shine. That coin, in the right condition, could change hands for thousands of dollars, rewarding those with a keen eye and appreciation for history. The message is clear. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar is not only valuable, it is a true prize. It is proof that the Eisenhower series holds hidden gems, and that with patience and knowledge, collectors can uncover treasures worth thousands. Now we are moving towards the year 1974. Ladies and gentlemen, our journey now takes us to the year 1974, a year that gifted collectors with another remarkable chapter in the Eisenhower Dollar series. The 1974 Eisenhower Dollar is an iconic piece, filled with historical significance, value, and incredible collecting potential. The year 1974 was just before America celebrated its bicentennial, and the Eisenhower dollar was already becoming a symbol of leadership and progress. Minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, these coins continued the legacy of honoring President Dwight D. Eisenhower while commemorating the Apollo 11 moon landing. But what sets the 1974 Eisenhower dollar apart and makes it so valuable? The answer lies in its special issues and the condition of surviving coins. The San Francisco Mint struck 40% silver-clad versions in both proof and uncirculated forms. These silver issues are among the most coveted by collectors today, especially in high-grade condition. The Philadelphia and Denver coins, though struck in copper-nickel, also carry immense value when discovered in pristine mint state condition. For example, coins graded MS-66 and higher are scarce and command impressive prices at auction. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is its role as a bridge to the celebrated bicentennial issues of 1976. Collectors cherish it as part of the series timeline, making it an essential year for any complete set. Auction records have shown that while common examples may sell for modest sums, the finest known 1974 Eisenhower dollars can reach beyond $6,000 to $10,000 depending on the variety and grade. Imagine holding a coin from 1974 that can command such a figure today. That is the power of rarity and condition in numismatics. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar proves that not all treasures are buried. Some are hidden in plain sight, tucked away in collections, waiting for the day they re-emerge and show their brilliance on the auction block. Ladies and gentlemen, never underestimate the 1974 Eisenhower dollar. Its silver-clad versions sparkle with value. Its mint-state rarities dazzle with potential, and its history cements its place as one of the most valuable coins of its era. The next year is 1977. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward through the Eisenhower Dollar series, the year 1977 stands out as another key moment. The 1977 Eisenhower Dollar holds a very special place in the hearts of collectors, not only for its rarity and high grades, but also for the legacy it represents near the end of the series. By 1977, the Eisenhower Dollar had been in production for several years, but its popularity among collectors was growing rapidly. Minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, the coin carried the same bold portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower on the obverse, with the iconic Apollo 11 eagle reverse. However, unlike some earlier years, there were no silver issues struck in 1977. All of the coins were copper-nickel clad, which makes the high-grade survivors even more special. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of coins, but due to circulation wear, finding examples in superb gem condition today is exceedingly rare. Collectors and grading services note that Eisenhower Dollars graded MS-66 or higher for 1977 are incredibly scarce. These coins are where the true value lies. So why is the 1977 Eisenhower Dollar considered so valuable? Because collectors know how difficult it is to find one in perfect mint state. The highest graded examples often sell for thousands of dollars. In fact, some pristine examples have brought more than $7,000 at major auctions. That is extraordinary for a coin minted in large numbers, but preserved by only a fortunate few. The Denver Mint also contributed coins in 1977, but just like Philadelphia, the challenge lies in condition. Collectors prize sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and luster that makes the coin shine as if it were freshly minted. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1977 Eisenhower Dollar is not just another year in the series. It is a test of patience, knowledge, and luck for collectors. The thrill of finding one in top condition is matched only by the thrill of knowing that it could sell for thousands. This year reminds us that even in the later stages of the Eisenhower Dollar's production, treasures remained hidden for those willing to search. Now we are entering in a last, but not the least, the year 1978. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reach the final chapter of the Eisenhower Dollar series, we arrive at the year 1978, a year of endings, rarity, and lasting legacy. The 1978 Eisenhower Dollar is the last of its kind, marking the conclusion of an era that began in 1971. This coin carries special weight among collectors because it represents the end of the Eisenhower series before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the smaller Susan B. Anthony Dollar in 1979. The 1978 Eisenhower Dollar was minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, with no silver issues produced. So what makes the 1978 Eisenhower Dollar valuable? The answer lies in condition and history. Because this was the final year, collectors seek pristine examples as a way to complete their sets. But finding coins in MS-66 or MS-67 condition is a real challenge, making them worth thousands of dollars at auction. Imagine holding the very last Eisenhower Dollar ever struck for circulation, preserved as though it just left the minting press. That rarity and symbolism combined create immense value. Auction records have shown that superb examples of the 1978 Eisenhower Dollar can sell for as much as $6,000 to $8,000, depending on grade and demand. That is extraordinary for the final year of a coin series, showing how much collectors cherish this piece. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1978 Eisenhower Dollar is valuable not just for its scarcity and top condition, but also because it represents history's turning point. It was the last large-size circulating dollar struck by the United States Mint, making it a true collectible icon. When you look at the 1978 Eisenhower Dollar, you're not just looking at a piece of metal. You are looking at the closing chapter of America's last great dollar coin. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have just seen, the Eisenhower Dollar series is not just another set of coins. From 1971 to 1978, each year produced remarkable treasures that continue to shine in today's collector market. These coins are valuable, sought after, and in the right condition can bring in thousands of dollars. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. This concludes our Eisenhower Dollar series presentation. Thank you for joining, and until next time, may your hunt for rare coins bring you fortune and success.